let's be like this. Part of the problem with this whole thing was, Tamar, is that I was never comfortable with the relationship that you and Mendices had in front of me. Okay. All of that, you at the music video shoot in your booty shorts, sitting on top of him meeting us up at restaurants every time we met up. I was very uncomfortable with it. And if we gonna tell it, let's tell it all. So since you were throwing a party for a friend's birthday party, do y'all want to know why I did not get out the car and go upstairs with Tamar when we got back to her house? Because after her and Mendices got through kissing in the back of that goddamn car, I figured they wanted to be up there privately. That is why when we got dropped off at Tamar's house, I did not go upstairs. I got in my damn car and went home because you was sitting on his lap in that goddamn Uber and y'all was kissing. Okay.
But you gotta think about it, right? If I look back now, I see what people going through divorce with assets and stuff like that.
You escaped. I'm going through.
We don't gotta go through none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
you won.
It kind of worked out.
Tamar Braxton is back in the headlines right after Christmas, and this time it's because of Mendices. He sat down for an interview and dropped a bombshell, revealing that he and Yandy were never actually legally married. No marriage certificate was ever filed. And immediately after that interview dropped, Tamar hopped on social media to announce she was never messing with a married man. But here's the confusion. If nothing happened between you and Mendices, why are you even speaking on this? Innocent people don't usually feel the need to defend themselves this aggressively. Let's go back to when this whole situation started. Funky Dineva was caught in the middle of everything. He publicly stated he felt uncomfortable being around Tamar and Mendices because of how they were acting with each other. The energy was too affectionate, too comfortable, and Funky is friends with Quad, who's tight with Yandy. So he was watching his friend's man getting cozy with someone else right in front of him.
People don't really know how to take, the rumors that were starting to circulate about you in the streets, because it was like, dang, if she held him down.
So even if me and Yandy decide to break up, it's no one's business but our household. Right? So if you see me acting inappropriate, it's appropriate for me. It's maybe not for you, because I'm sorry you wasn't in the group chat when we decided that you know what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry you wasn't in our bedroom when we had this conversation, and and that's the problem, because a lot of times these rumors, we so private that we sit back and we laugh at it, and it doesn't affect us like the way it affects the public. People be like, oh, y'all should be more transparent and let us know.
During the interview, Mendices explained that he and Yandy never filed their marriage paperwork. It wasn't filed when they first got together. Then he went to jail, which put everything on pause. But even after he got out, the paperwork still was never submitted. He admitted they've been separated for over a year now. The moment that interview aired, Tamar inserted herself directly into the conversation. Her comments basically confirmed something was going on, whether she wants to admit it or not. She started stressing that Mendices was never legally married, like that was her defense. But here's the issue. Being legally married or not doesn't change the fact that Mendices was in a committed relationship. He had a family with Yandy. He was unavailable. So Tamar can say he wasn't married all day long, but it doesn't change that he was taken.
20 years, you don't, it's like that person helped change you who you are today. Yeah. You grew up. I'm mature. There's so many ways messing with Yandy. Like I wouldn't be the man who I am today if it wasn't for her.
That's a beautiful thing to say.
So she made me look at family different. She just made me look at life different. If I show you how closed off I was, I wouldn't be even sitting here having this conversation. So, it's just unfortunate that after time, we couldn't just get on the same page.
Mendices talked in the interview about how he and Yandy weren't on the same page anymore. He said people don't understand that what looks inappropriate to outsiders might be appropriate for them, because nobody was in their group chat when they made certain decisions. Nobody was in their bedroom when they had certain conversations. He basically said they keep things private and laugh at rumors because it doesn't affect them the way it affects the public. He was asked about his current status with Yandy and confirmed they're not together. together. When asked if they're getting divorced, he explained there's nothing to divorce because they were never legally married. He clarified it wasn't done for TV. It was Yandy's idea initially because he was going through legal battles with courts and fines, and she suggested not signing the papers. He agreed. Then it just stayed that way. They had a second ceremony later and still didn't file paperwork. Looking back now, he sees what people go through during divorce with assets being split. He realized he escaped that complication. They don't have to go through any of that legal process.
What's the status of you and Yandy right now?
Are we not together?
Y'all not together. So y'all getting a divorce?
Well, we never was like legally married, so I don't know what a divorce. Like.
So the rumors are true that y'all just did it for TV.
Listen, nah, I didn't do it for TV. I think, listen, it was Yandy's idea, right? Because in the beginning we had I was going through legal battles with courts and fines, and she said, let's not sign the papers, and I was like, all right, cool. And then I guess it kind of just stayed that way. Then we got married again.
He said he's known Yandy for 20 years. They've been split for over a year. He credited her with changing him and helping him mature. She made him look at family differently and at life differently. He wouldn't be the man he is today without her. But at this time in their lives, they just couldn't get on the same page. If you've watched Love and Hip Hop over the years, you could see the relationship deteriorating. Yandy is ambitious and driven, constantly building her empire. Somewhere along the way, the relationship took a back seat. From what Mendices was saying, it sounds like he was trying to get her attention and wasn't getting it. Now, before anyone says Yandy held him down when he was locked up, yes, she did. But that doesn't mean things can't fall apart later. People grow apart. But the issue isn't their relationship breakdown. The issue is Tamar making this whole situation about herself. Within hours of Mendices doing his interview, Tamar was on social media talking. Why, though? This is between him and Yandy. But Tamar stressed that Mendices was never married. That's the gotcha moment that clears her name. If you weren't involved with him, why would you even know his marital status? Why would it matter to you? That's the question nobody's asking her. Then Tamar took it even further. She posted her Cash App saying people need to pay up if they called her certain names. $10 if you called her a liar. $20 if you called her a homewrecker. She framed it like people owe her an apology and should send money to say sorry. She said people need to run her money up if they were talking about her. The content creator who originally broke this story was likely telling the truth based on what Tamar herself is now saying. Allegedly, Tamar told this content creator that Mendices told her he wasn't married, and supposedly she told him to come out and say it publicly. Well, he said it. So the content creator's story is being validated by current events. Here's what's really happening. Tamar loves the attention. She plays in social media drama because it keeps her name trending. Everything she's doing right now is proving everybody's point. If nothing happened, why are you so pressed about the homewrecker label? That's what people are missing. The problem was never about whether Mendices had a marriage license filed at the courthouse. The problem is, he was in a committed relationship with another woman. He had a family. Tamar can say he wasn't married all day. It doesn't change that he was unavailable. She's worried about labels when she should be worried about actions. The energy is giving clout chaser. The comments under her posts are divided. Some people are reading it as her denying involvement. Others are taking it as her admitting she was involved, but saying she wasn't technically a homewrecker because there was no legal marriage. Either way, she's confirming the very thing she's trying to deny. Tamar is talented and funny and has been through a lot, but this behavior is concerning. It's disappointing to watch. She needs real support because this has gone too far. The real issue everyone keeps dancing around is this. Legal paperwork doesn't define commitment. Mendices and Yandy were together for 20 years. They have children together. They built a life together. They presented themselves as a married couple to the world. The absence of a signed document doesn't erase 2 decades of partnership. So when Tamar tries to use the technicality of no legal marriage as her shield, she's missing the entire point. The public doesn't care about paperwork. They care that a man was in a long-term committed relationship and allegedly got involved with someone else while still in that relationship. And the way Tamar is defending herself makes it worse. If there was truly nothing to defend, she wouldn't be this vocal. She wouldn't be posting Cash App information demanding payment from people who criticized her. She wouldn't be inserting herself into Mendices' interview revelations. Innocent people don't behave this way. They don't need to announce their innocence to the world. They don't need to play word games about what counts as married. They simply stay quiet because the accusations don't apply to them. Tamar's response is essentially an admission. She's admitting she was involved with Mendices. She's just arguing about whether it counts as being a homewrecker based on the technicality of legal marriage status. That's not the defense she thinks it is. And the Cash App stunt is particularly telling. Demanding money from people who called you names suggests you're more concerned with monetizing the drama than actually clearing your name. If your reputation mattered, you'd issue a clear denial and move on. You wouldn't turn it into a payment opportunity. The timing is also suspicious. Mendices does an interview revealing he and Yandy were never legally married. Within hours, Tamar is on social media addressing it. How would she even know about the interview that quickly unless she was waiting for it? Unless she knew it was coming? Unless she'd been in communication with Mendices about when he was going to reveal this information? It all points to coordination. It suggests Tamar knew this information was going to come out and was prepared to immediately use it as her defense. That level of preparedness doesn't happen by accident. And let's talk about Funky Dineva's discomfort. He said he was uncomfortable watching Tamar and Mendices together because of how they were acting. That's not speculation. That's a first-hand witness account from someone who was physically present. He saw something that made him uncomfortable, something that crossed lines. Funky's position was particularly difficult because of his friendship connections. He's friends with Quad is friends with Yandy. So he's watching this situation unfold, knowing that his friend's friend is being disrespected. That creates an obligation to say something, which he eventually did. The fact that multiple people noticed the energy between Tamar and Mendices means it wasn't subtle. It wasn't something only one person picked up on. Multiple witnesses saw behavior that seemed inappropriate for two people who claim nothing happened. And now, Tamar wants everyone to focus on the legal technicality of marriage status, instead of addressing the actual behavior that people witnessed. She wants to argue about definitions instead of actions. That's deflection. The public's concern isn't about whether a piece of paper was filed with the government. The public's concern is about respecting relationships and boundaries. Mendices was in a 20-year partnership with Yandy. That partnership deserved respect regardless of legal status. Tamar's entire defense strategy is built on a technicality that doesn't address the actual issue. It's like someone saying they didn't steal because the door was unlocked. The unlocked door doesn't make taking something that doesn't belong to you, okay? Similarly, the absence of legal marriage paperwork doesn't make getting involved with someone in a committed relationship okay. The commitment is what matters, not the government documentation of that commitment. And the way Tamar is handling this publicly shows a lack of awareness about how this looks. She thinks she's clearing her name. She thinks she's setting the record straight. But what she's actually doing is confirming people's suspicions while trying to argue on a technicality. It's December 26th, and Tamar has already given us a whole saga. There are still days left in the year. With Tamar, it's always something. The drama never stops. The attention-seeking never ends. What's particularly frustrating is that Tamar has genuine talent. She can sing. She's funny. She's been through real struggles that deserve sympathy. But she keeps sabotaging herself with this type of behavior. She keeps inserting herself into drama that has nothing to do with her. If she would use her singing voice as much as she uses social media for drama, her career would be in a completely different place. Instead, she's known more for controversies and social media feuds than for her actual talent. The Mendices situation is just the latest example. She didn't need to say anything. She could have stayed quiet and let him and Yandy handle their business privately. But instead, she made it about herself. She made it about defending her reputation on a technicality. She made it about Cash App payments and social media posts. And in doing all of that, she confirmed exactly what people were saying about her. She proved that there was something to hide. She proved that the relationship with Mendices was more than nothing. Because if it was truly nothing, she wouldn't be fighting this hard to defend it. The lesson here is simple. Sometimes the best defense is silence. Sometimes not addressing something is the strongest statement you can make. Tamar didn't learn that lesson, and now she's dealing with the consequences of speaking when she should have stayed quiet.